Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. As always, it's an honor to share this practice with you. It really makes my day to be able to wake up and have something to go do and that not only makes me feel good, but I know helps others feel good as well. And I thank you for your trust. I do apologize that my schedule over the last couple weeks has been a little bit in fluctuation, trying to work with clients, trying to balance personal home life and everything else too. So I thank you so much for your kindness and understanding towards that. But I love this practice. And today I wanted to talk about something called I.S.O. And this past weekend I cleared my schedule off so I could do some deep work with one of my teachers. Some of you know him. His name is Frank. He's out in Joshua Tree. Frank is becoming the ordained minister over at Joshua Tree Retreat Center for the Center of Mental Physics. And what the Center of Mental Physics is, it's a center first founded by Ding LeMay, but it takes a scientific approach to understanding our own minds, but through that connecting to spirituality. And I like this approach a lot because it still uses a lot of philosophical references and religious references, but also because we are such a mind-based society rather than a heart-based society. In many respects, I feel it kind of jailbreaks us from our minds and allows us to connect to our own spirituality, whether it's through the teachings of Christ, the teachings of Buddha, the teachings of Moses, the teachings of all these many incredible philosophers that came before our times. And one of the things that Frank and I worked on this past weekend was a focus on letting go of a persona that specifically ran a narrative in my life, which is the competitor. Some of you may have known this, some of you not, but I grew up in a family of athletes and we competed at a very young age, younger than most kids do. And when you're conditioned at a very young age to compete and to perform, that can have lasting effects throughout your lifetime. And since the age of 5, I've been running 5Ks and 10Ks, and through the course of college and even after college, there was this persona that had built up where everything I did was a competition. It didn't matter what. I could never do anything for fun, and this is the first time I've actually publicly talked about this, but I always struggled with doing something because there was always an element of competition involved with it. Which means when there's always an element of competition, there is a selfishness involved, which means that I want to be the winner. And so if I'm being selfish in a competitive nature, then I'm not really considering in a greater aspect how everyone else is doing around me. I'm focused on the goal. I'm focused on the win. And fortunately or unfortunately, there is a huge teaching in that, and that in the eternal nature of all things, there really is no winning, honestly. When I say eternal, I mean the infinite. You can't win when it comes to infinity, maybe temporarily, but the issue that comes up with that is that we end up suffering because we just go from one competition to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And then guess what? When it's time to put our shoes up and retire the shoes, the competitor never actually goes away. The competitor goes into the next thing. And so, as many of you know, I got into sales, corporate sales for a Fortune 500 company called St. Jude Medical, and that led me down a certain path, and I got competitive with the people that I worked with too, and you know, it just breeds a lot of caustic and unfortunate, can bring a lot of suffering into one's own life. And I'm sharing this because this is the deep work. If we really want to liberate ourselves, this is the work that we have to do in order to look within and see those mental objects without taking it personally. And that's why it's called Impersonal Scientific Observation. Taking whatever I see internally, not making it about me anymore. Those are just old echoes and remnants of the past, but just looking at it and seeing it for what it is. Stepping away from it, observing the patterns and the habits that form in my life, and how I've constructed my life around that way, how these habits and patterns are creating tension and stress on the physical body due to my attachments to them, and then developing a plan and a method in order to step away from that. And quite honestly, the biggest plan and method to step away from that is doing stuff for others, taking care of others, serving others, being present for others, knowing that in my own personal time, like before I start these videos, I spend my mornings focused on what David's needs are. So that way I can go into the rest of the day not focusing about my needs so much. The rest of the day is about everybody else. And so sharing this practice in a way that we can start to work on ourselves and let go of those things that never actually, that don't actually serve us in the long run. They do serve us in many respects. And I always, at this point in the juncture in my life, try to practice gratitude for them. But at the same time, recognizing that that old competitor, that's not me anymore. And I choose a different path. I choose to not get caught up in the competition of others, because being here in the present moment, we collectively have already won. We already are in the process of experiencing the joy and bliss of what is here and now. So I hope that makes sense for some. If it doesn't, I'll try to create more clarity through our practice. But let's go ahead and lay down on our back. I thank you for listening, and we'll get started. And the Dalai Lama said, if you have an extreme self-centered attitude, there is the possibility to develop thinking how to exploit it, how to bully this, how to cheat this. If you have warm-heartedness, all members of society respect each other's rights, develop a sense of concern for each other's well-being, so there is no room for cheating, for exploitation like that. So these are the secular ethics without attaching religion. And as you close your eyes, start to come into your practice. Elongate your spine. Allow your chest to open. Drop the shoulders down the back. Turn the palms face up. And begin to let go of your day. As you let go of your day, let go of your week, let go of what's next and what's to come. We use this time here and now to focus on ourself. So that way, when we step off our mats, we are taken care of. And so that we may move out into the world and embrace it, celebrate it, celebrate the people in it, the eyes that walk by us. We do this work so that we may do our other work off the mat with more clarity, more efficiency, with more heart and more compassion. Begin to notice your breath. Observe your body breathing. Observe the depth of the breath, the pace of the breath, the balance in the breath. And let's begin to breathe together. Please take a long, slow breath in, fill lungs up. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, please fill lungs up. Exhale, letting it go. Inhale, fill lungs up. Exhale, let it go. And inhale, please fill your lungs up. Exhale, let it go. Breathe on your own and check in with your body. From your head to your toes, observe where there's tension, soreness, tightness, imbalances of any kind. Being aware of these areas in the physical form where tension is held. And as we move through the practice and move the physical form around, let us focus with keen observation on these areas. Let us breathe into them. Let us see what comes up. And let us dissolve any stressors that may arise. Place your left hand over your heart. Place the right hand on the belly. Breath retention, oxygenating the bloodstream. Please take a long, slow, deep breath in. Feel the navel rise, chest expand, collarbones spread, shoulders down the back, long spine, relax the face, lips, eyes, mouth, and forehead. Holding your breath at the top of the inhale. Exhale, release the breath. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. And again, please take another long, slow, deep breath in. Feel the navel rise, chest expand, collarbones spread, shoulders down the back, long spines. Relax the face, lips, eyes, mouth, and forehead, holding your breath at the top of the inhale. Exhale, letting it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. One more time, this time setting an intention for your practice. Please take a long, slow, deep breath in. Feel the navel rise, chest expand, collarbones spread, shoulders down the back, long spine. Relax the face, lips, eyes, mouth, and forehead, holding your breath at the top of the inhale. This time, sip in once, sip in twice, sip in 3 times. Hold the breath at the top. Bring your awareness towards the center of your forehead. Focus on your intentions or goals. See them happening. Be clear. Exhale, let it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. And let's do an Om together. Inhale. Inhale, fill lungs up. And exhale, gently release the arms down along the sides, softly blinking the eyes open. As we blink the eyes open, let's begin first on an inhale. Open your hands as wide as you can. Open your toes as wide as you can. Exhale, make a tight fist with both hands. Scrunch the toes. Inhale, opening. Exhale, closing. Make tight fists. Scrunch the toes. One more. Inhale, opening. Exhale, tightening. This time, relaxing your hands and feet. Inhale, roll the shoulders upwards towards your ears. And exhale, draw the shoulders down the backs. Inhale, roll shoulders forward and up. Exhale, shoulders down the back. Inhaling, forward and up. Exhaling, back and down. Beautiful. Adding the arms. Inhale, reach the arms up and over the head. Palms touch. Exhaling, arms down along the sides. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over the head. Palms, fingertips touch. Exhaling, arms down along the sides. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over the head. Palms and fingertips touch. And exhaling, releasing the arms down along the sides. On an inhale, please reach the arms up and over your head. Interlace the hands, press the palms, point through your toes. As you point through the toes, glide your shoulder blades upwards towards your ears. Wrap the triceps towards the sky, hollowing out the armpits. Press your legs down. Breathe into the shape that you're creating. And remember, it's not a competition. It truly is not. It's not a competition to see who can be the longest or the strongest or the most flexible. I find that when we are doing the yoga practice the proper way, our consciousness is focused on things like spirituality and God rather than competition. And it is the ego that focuses on the competitiveness side of the practice because it's simply misaligned, and that is all. There is no competition in yoga. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, release the arms down along the sides. With your next inhale, reach the arms up and over the head, flex the feet. Press the palms towards the wall that's behind us. As you press your heels forward, press the thighs down, lengthening through the arms. Breathe into the shape. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhaling. We're not even competing against ourselves. Deep breath in. Exhaling. One more. Inhaling. And exhaling. Release the arms down along the sides. Good. Gently hug both knees into your chest. As you hug both knees into your chest, gently rock side to side, back and forth, massaging out your back, massaging out your shoulders. And if we aren't mindful and watchful of the competitive one, it can get into every little aspect of our life, our relationship, having to one-up our partners, our work life, having to one-up coworkers, simple things like sitting in traffic, having to be ahead of the other car that's ahead of you, even though it's only, 2 or 3 seconds difference. We can get competitive in so many different ways, and in the focus on competition, we lose sight of God, or whatever God means to you. And I've started to come to terms that it's okay to use that word, and if folks don't necessarily like it, I apologize, but what I mean by God is simply that which is greater than us, that could probably care less if there's another car in front of us, or things of that nature. Let's extend our left leg forward. Draw the right thigh into the chest. Flex through both feet. As we bring our right thigh into the chest, breathe into the right hamstring. Left heel pressing forward. Deep breath in. Exhale. Because when my mind is focused on competitiveness, I'm not thinking about how I can serve someone else, unless I'm, just obviously kidding when I say this, serving them with a loss. But I mean, in truth, there is a lot of truth to that, because when we lose our sight of our connection to that which is greater than us, the outside world, we lose that connection with the people that we surround ourselves with. We start to create these scenarios in our heads, so then we begin living in our heads rather than living in the present moment with all the different experiences and opportunities that are presenting themselves to us. I can't possibly see opportunity if I'm in my head simply seeing competition. All right, I might see the opportunity of competition, but I'm missing a much bigger picture. Please take a long, slow, deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. Please switch legs. Take your right leg forward, switch the interlace of the hands around the left shin, and draw your left thigh in towards your chest. Shoulder blades down the back. Flex left foot, flex right foot. Smooth breath in. Exhaling. And so when I did this guided Impersonal Scientific Observation, I.S.O., what it allowed me to do was look at all the different aspects of my life where maybe I was being competitive with an ex-girlfriend, or maybe where I was being competitive with children or people my age group, or where I was being competitive with family members. And when I came to the conclusion that, wow, guess what? I don't need to carry this on my shoulders anymore. I'm not kidding. My entire body was able to relax, and every ounce of pain that I had left. And over this past week, my body has been completely pain-free, and it's just been this wonderful experience that I feel is worthy of sharing, because whether it's competitiveness or worry or fear, whatever it is that we're holding, when we can see that we are not that, and when we can do the work to let go of it, all of the muscle tension that surrounds that particular way of thought lets go. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release the left leg, shake the left leg out. Good. Bring the right knee into your chest. If you have a strap, please grab a strap and place the strap around your right foot. Take it upwards. And these findings that I'm speaking of go well and along with Yogananda's teachings. If you don't know Yogananda started the Self-Realization Fellowships here in California and across the world, in parlaying on the work that he did in the 1920s and 30s. He was ahead of his time, but he is so right in our capacity as human beings to be able to let go of things. So if you get a chance to, I definitely suggest reading maybe Autobiography of a Yogi, or picking up The Laws of Success. I've been reading from that this week in classes, but check those little books out. Great inspiration, as well as incredibly useful knowledge for navigating this particular time that we're going through, but just there, it's a timeless teachings. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Press the right heel up. Exhale. Deep breath in. Exhaling. Deep breath in. Exhaling. Couple more. Inhaling. Exhaling. And one more. Inhaling. Exhaling. Slowly bend your right knee, release the strap, and then place the strap around the left foot. Slowly take your left leg upwards, right leg forward, press your left heel up, draw the left hip away from the left shoulder. And as you flex your left foot, breathe into your left calf, left hamstring. And so something that I find helpful, especially for those of us that may have kids, I feel that there is a healthy way to be able to teach competition. And in that, making sure that there is a focus somewhere in there on the child's higher power or whatever that is. And I say this in the most loving way because if we do not teach our children this type of work now, we are going to have a generation of children that are going to suffer from the same things that perhaps our generation has suffered with as well. And so teaching the spirit of competition, but also teamwork, teaching gratitude, to say to a fellow competitor, thank you so much for being competition in my life for this particular race. Know that we are not enemies off here or off the course either. It's important to frame these things because if we don't, children develop kinks. When we shame kids for doing bad, it can last a lifetime. I was on a phone call last night with USC students. I work with a project at USC called The Haven, and it is for individuals suffering from drug and alcohol addiction and abuse. And I'm so grateful for these students showing up. But for many of them, there's been a competitiveness factor throughout their entire lives, and the only way for them to deal with the stress of that competition is through the use of drug use recreationally or alcohol. And to be able to tell someone and teach them at a younger age some of these things that might come up if they aren't watchful is highly helpful and prevents kinks later on down the line. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhaling. And one more. Deep breath in. Exhaling. Slowly bring your left knee into the chest. Release the strap. Bring your right knee into the chest. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. And on the exhale, lower both feet down towards the ground. Cross your right thigh over the left thigh. Take your hips over to your right. Then let the knees drop over to your left side. Cactus the arms. And as you cactus your arms, let the collarbones spread. Let the elbows come down towards the ground. Breathe into the outer right hip. And what I find too is that it's very easy to make considerations about competition, and we say, well, I'm competing against this company, or I'm competing against this person for this project, this, that, or the other. No. I mean, I understand that we call them competitions, but I'm myself learning how to reframe things so that way there's more spirit in it rather than ego. Because it is the ego that has a very crushing effect, not only on ourselves, but other people. Whereas when we do things and engage in life with the spirit of whatever it may be for the individual, the spirit of Buddha, the spirit of Christ, the spirit of Zoroaster, whatever, when we start to infuse life with that, it becomes this beautiful experience of gratitude where each and every little thing we do is the gift that we get to do moving forward until the end of days in our bodies, and then after that, who knows, not going there yet with it, but it certainly helps to relieve the pressure that we're putting on ourselves. We can enter a competition without pressure. In fact, so much that there's no pressure at all. It just becomes a natural talent that pours through us. But it's also making sure that we're having fun, that we're having and finding peace in it, that there's tranquility in it as well. So it's learning how to construct our lives in a way starting now, construct our lives in a way that brings about a little bit more peace and ease, even when we are, quote unquote, competing. With your next inhale, slowly come back towards center. Keep the legs crossed. Slowly bring the knees into your chest. As you bring your knees into your chest, right hand grabs the outside edge of the left foot, left hand grabs the outside edge of the right foot. Pull the feet apart. Let the back of the head come down. Shoulders down the back. Imagine walking through life with no pain. Walking through life with no tension felt in the body. Walking through life with a body that feels complete and whole. I truly feel and believe through this type of work of looking, of letting go, of reorganizing and releasing thought patterns and habits that no longer serve us, does more good for the overall, which includes you and everybody else around you, than just simply serving ourselves. I feel it's a way to live a bit of a longer life as opposed to a shorter, tense-filled life as well. It's a way to have more and experience more ecstasy and bliss in life. Dare I use those words, but sometimes they're misconstrued. But we can have more of an ecstatic experience of living, even in times like these. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, uncross the legs, releasing the feet. Let's switch the crossing of the legs, left thigh over right. Take the hips over to your left, take the knees over to the right. And then cactus the arms, palms face up. Turn your head to the left. Breathe slowly, breathe into your outer left hip. Allow it to release. You know, the competitiveness shows up when we beat ourselves up for making a mistake. Oh, I should have known better. I can do better. Things like that. For all intensive purposes, you know, as long as we are in these very human bodies, we're going to make mistakes. It's watching what we're doing and being more aware of what we're doing on a regular basis, but we're going to make mistakes. And to make sure that we forgive ourselves for these mistakes that we made. You know, we can be at least very complicated. And there's many triggers that can trigger us to all of a sudden just fly off the handle when we're not watching. They can make us do things that maybe we're not proud of, but we make mistakes. And what we can do is learn from these mistakes, forgive our mistakes, look at the patterns and habits that built up to the mistake, so that way we don't have to experience that karmic action over and over and over again. And we certainly don't need to compete against the person who we were yesterday, because that's a completely different person. With your next inhale, bring your knees back towards center. Bring your knees into your chest. As you bring your knees into your chest, once again, take your right hand to the outside edge of the left foot, left hand to the outside edge of the right foot. Start to pull your feet apart. As you pull your feet apart, the back of the head is down, tailbone is down. Hold here. Hold for 5. 4. 2, and 1. Please take a long, slow, deep breath in wherever you are at. And exhale, uncross the legs, lower the head down, lower the feet to the ground. Good. Separate your feet mass distance apart. Cactus the arms again, palms face up. And we'll just move our legs with the breath. Inhale, knees over to your right side. Exhale, knees over to your left side. Inhale, knees over to your right side. Exhaling, knees over to your left side. One more. Inhale, knees over to your right side. And exhale, knees over to your left side. Slowly bring your knees back to center. Bring your feet together. Take your knees wide apart. Good. Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined, bound angle pose. Turn the palms face up. Focus on your navel. Then start to breathe into your lower bellies. Inhale, fill the lungs all the way up. Exhale, letting it go. Inhale, fill lungs all the way up. Exhale, letting it go. Inhale, fill lungs all the way up. Exhale, letting it go. What is something you can invite into your life today that not only helps you, but helps others around you? What is something that you can invite into your life today that not only helps you, but helps others around you? Something that is quite helpful and useful, and I probably do this, I don't even know, I was talking with my girlfriend Shelley about it yesterday, but I was using the mantra, only God in the heart, only God in the mind, probably about 25% of the time yesterday in the waking day. And I feel that using that mantra, only God in the heart, only God in the mind, only God in the mind, only God in the heart, when I'm driving, I'm not fiddling around. I'm thinking about what's ahead of me and the people around me. When I am sitting in a group or a circle with people, I'm not thinking about the next thing that I need to say or do in order to, quote unquote, make somebody feel better, but to really just be present with them. And so through that mantra, only God in the mind, God in the heart, the focus is on what is here and now. And the mind doesn't drift off and do so many extraneous things and try to take on so many tasks, because what is being given to us in every given moment is the opportunity itself. So why not be with God, or whatever that looks like for you? Why not be with that in the present moment and honestly start to work with that? Take a long, slow, deep breath in. And on the exhale, slowly bring your knees together. Let's bring both knees into our chest and rock it up and down the length of our spines. As we rock it up and down the length of the spine, start to get some momentum. Rock up and down so much. Rock over your feet. Come onto your hands and knees. As we come onto our hands and knees, our shoulders are over our wrists and our hips are over our knees. Our hands are wide open. We root through our palms and fingertips. Inner elbows firm in, biceps wrap forward. Inhale. Please pull the heart forward. Look forward, cow pose. Exhale, chin to chest, round your spine, cat pose. Inhale, heart pulls forward, look forward. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the tailbone. Inhaling, heart pulls forward. Exhaling, round spine, tuck the tailbone. Inhaling, heart pulls forward, look forward. Exhaling, round spine, tuck the tailbone. Inhaling. Exhaling. And inhale. Exhaling. Neutral spine, inhale. Exhale, let's tuck our toes and sit back on our heels the best that we can. If we need to sit on something or place a bolster under or a pillow underneath our hips, that's totally okay. But let's sit here. Feel a stretch through the arches of your feet. Okay, making sure that we are getting blood flow through our feet. Many people all day long wear constrictive shoes, socks that shunt blood flow. We have to get to know our bodies. One way that we can fight tension throughout the body and beat that tension, not that it's a competition, but one way that we can work through that stress and tension is through stretching the body properly, making sure that we're aerating it a little bit, not always having clothes on our body too. There is a lot of shame, and this is a cultural thing about being naked. Let's talk about that real quick. It's okay to be naked. Every now and then, if you have a home that is safeguarded and you have a place to sunbathe nude, it's okay. You're human. Guess what? Our bodies are going to go back to the earth. Let's get out of our heads about it. There's so much shame around the body, and it starts from a very young age. Let's go ahead and come off our heels. I'll talk a little bit more about this. But there's so much shame about the human body. Start to circle your hips out. And we carry it through our lifetimes, about our sizes and our shapes. In advertising companies do a really great job at making people feel bad for how they look, when in fact all we really need to be doing more often than not is walking up to people and just saying, hey, you're beautiful just the way you are. Instead of saying, ooh, you're different, or you can go with whatever you want to make up. My mind just doesn't want to go there. I apologize, but it doesn't feel like it's in the heart. So, but just saying things to people to pick their day up, to make them feel good about who they are. Hey, you look great in what you're wearing. But there's so much shame around our bodies, nudity. I find, and I found anyways, through the yoga practice, that the body is a very beautiful thing, and they come in all shapes and sizes. And when I see people in person in classes, I just get so excited and happy to see people taking care of themselves more than anything. And if you're looking for, a place to do that because maybe you feel a little self-conscious, look at the self-conscious one, just as I looked at the competitive one. With your next inhale, shifting back forward. Exhale, circle the hips in the opposite direction. Look at the self-conscious one, the one that is conscious of itself, that fears being seen, that it has to look a certain way in order for what we perceive to be as acceptance, because guess what? That is also conditioned. And when we can see this with more clarity, we can put down the act and all the tension that self-consciousness creates inside of the body. Self-consciousness creates tension in the rib cage. We find it difficult to breathe. Self-consciousness can create headaches for ourselves, literally. Self-consciousness can create constrictions around things like sexuality. We have to look at these things if we want to be liberated from them. Otherwise, these things that we hold on to, those auspicious thoughts inside of our heads that no one else can hear but us, will start to take over our lives. If you'd like to work with someone on this stuff, please reach out. I'm more than happy to help you, as well as Frank in the work that we are doing, as well as my partner Shelley too. All right. With your next inhale, let's come back forward. And let's come onto our buttocks. Take the legs out in front of us. Shake the legs out. Flex your feet. Press the thighs down. Press the heels forward. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, reach out and over the legs, folding in. It's funny, I think we've all probably heard of like the phrase like a born again Christian or the word born again, but in many respects over the last week I feel like this sort of new rebirth is taking shape, and I'm born again yogi, whatever that is, but this just new sense of well-being coming into my life, and a lot of the fears that I've been holding on to the past, like I don't feel them anymore. And I feel that one of the biggest gifts that we can do is once we feel this as human beings in our own selves, then it is this circle of influence that we have to begin speaking to them about it and checking in. And guess what? If I'm wrong on anything, I will be the first one to admit and say, listen, I messed up, I am wrong. Because the last thing I would ever want to do is put someone into a state of hurt or pain or not be led by the heart. So, please know that I will always come back and recant anything that I say that is not making sense or certainly deserves more clarity. But I do feel that this work, this mental work that we do in the approach to yoga, they call them the ancients, but they've been right all along. It is our minds that are the root of our suffering. It is that internal voice in the head, and when we give it so much credit, it can create a whole lot of circumstances in our lives that place so much tension on us. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhaling. With your next inhale, please lift your chest up, shake the legs out. Bring the sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh. Rotate your chest towards your left leg. Flex your left foot. On an inhale, arms reach upwards. And on the exhale, reach out and over the left leg, fold and breathe. Right rib cage rotates down, spine lengthens forward. If you need to use a strap, please use a strap. Totally okay. But can you imagine if you were out of your head just not even 25% of the day, but just 5% of the day? How more efficient and how much more you could do with your day just by being out of the head a little bit. Now the goal eventually, and I know it'll eventually happen because in the eternal nature and the infinite nature of things, it's going to happen. But now imagine being out of your head 100% of the time. Wow. How much good can we do when there's no more selfing involved? When it is totally and completely about those around us in service. That's the goal. Deep breath in. Exhaling. On an inhale, lift the chest up. Switch it, take the right leg forward, bring the sole of the left foot to the inner right thigh, rotate your chest towards the right leg, arms reach up, inhale. Exhale, fold out and over the right leg, folding in. And the good news is it's not a competition to get it done 100% this lifetime. Would it be nice? Sure. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I have a sneaking suspicion for those of you that are out there that believe in karma and the idea, at least, of reincarnation, whatever work we don't finish this lifetime, well, we'll have a chance to be able to work on it another lifetime. And for that, I'm grateful. And I'm grateful if that's the case, because why shouldn't we want to get better for one another? It's not just about ourselves. It's about community. It's about building something that is beneficial for all to benefit from. And if I'm seeing suffering in my perspective, then that means there's something within that I perhaps haven't quite looked at yet. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, please lift your chest up, shake the leg out. And let's bring the soles of our feet together. I'll face the camera. Knees wide apart, feet together, thumbs on the arches of the feet. Gently massage the arches of the feet out. And something that I've had a chance to do lately is in working at the Recovery Center, I've had a chance to talk to a lot of folks that are atheists and may not necessarily have a spiritual practice yet. And having the opportunity to talk to them about it without pushing them either, because my feelings about it is that everybody's deserving of love no matter what, even if you don't have a personal faith or religion. I didn't have one for a long time, but regardless, it doesn't mean that you're worthy of any less love than any other person. And to be able to talk to them about it and see how fundamentally spirit is in their lives, not through any names either, by having to drop names like philosophy teachers or religious sects or anything like that. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lean forward. But just through the sheer presence of their being, and then looking within as they close their eyes at the one that doesn't believe that there's something outside of them, they begin to change their perspective very quickly and understand that yes, indeed, there is something that helped to create their bodies, that there is this creative energy that is outside of them. And we don't have to give it a face or a name or an image, but indeed it is there. And I find that beautiful because when they see that there is something outside of them, they can begin to work with that in the helps of their sobriety and recovery, rather than thinking that it's all onto them and it's all up to their own mental faculties. Because in some parts that is true, but when we don't invite anything external to us in, then we're just stuck with our own caustic way of thinking. Take a deep breath, inhale. Exhale, fold. With your next inhale, slowly start to lift your chest back up. As you lift your chest up, please cross the legs. As you cross the legs, hands on the knees, palms face down. Start to circle the head out. Going back to the self-conscious one. I would advise doing this for those that are brave enough to do it. For those that struggle with self-consciousness, and I've done this, and so that's why I recommend it. Go in front of a mirror, stand naked, and look at yourself. I.S.O. Impersonal Scientific Observation. Look at yourself. Look at how you judge yourself. Or look at how you celebrate yourself. Roll your shoulders out. Look at where your eyes go to immediately when you look at yourself. And what thoughts start to come up. Observe your posture as you look at yourself. How we hold ourselves. Look at your body from different angles. Understand how you think about your body and begin to forgive yourself. Circle your spine out. Because it is through a lifetime of experience that we have placed and had judgment placed on us. It is also through these same eyes that we look out of that we judge others. Say to yourself repeatedly, I am a beautiful human being. I deserve to feel healthy. I deserve to feel good. I don't need to be in my head when I look at my body. Because if we spend a vast majority of the day self-conscious about the way we look, how can we possibly serve others? Truly, honestly, how can we possibly serve others when we are in our heads about the wrinkles on our face, or the hair that's being lost, or the color of our eyes, or this, that, and the others? This is the work, friends. On an inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, switch the crossing of the leg. Hand on knees, palms face down, lift the chest up, inhale. And exhale, circle the head in the opposite direction. And personally, I don't want to be remembered by how much I looked at myself in the mirror and judged myself. I don't want to be remembered by how much I judged others. So you circle the head. Roll the shoulders out. But the truth is When you find your own divine nature and connection to God, you don't need to do that because your mind is on God and your heart is on God. It's not on the way you look because you remember and you begin to realize that your body is part of the God creation process, that you, circle your spine, are indeed a part of the creative process, just like I am, and your neighbors are, and your house is, and this phone or device that you're watching and hearing this experience through. It is all a part of the God experience, the creative experience. And when we see that we can create our realities through the way we think, through the way we work and act and share, and the habits that we can build for ourselves, we can really do some good in this world. Go for 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. With your next inhale, please rise up, reach the arms upwards, palms touch. Exhale, draw the hands down to the heart center. Inhale, arms out into the sides, reaching up. Exhale, hands down to the heart center. And inhale, arms out to the sides, we reach up. Exhale, hands down to the heart center. Beautiful. Let's uncross the legs. Make your way onto your back. As you make your way onto your back, bring both knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. And then let's grab our blocks. If you have blocks, if you don't, that's okay. Grab a bolster, lift your hips up, and place the buttocks, hips on the bolster. Separate the feet, bring the knees together, turn the palms face up. Breathe into this shape. Yogananda said, to cultivate peace, to prevent mental disease, he said, cultivate peace and faith in God. Free the mind from all disturbing thoughts and fill it with love and joy. Realize the superiority of mental healing over physical healing. Banish bad habits which make life miserable. So if there's certain things that we're watching, I know this past week, for instance, 2 weeks ago, but even now, we've been seeing a lot of stuff on the news. Take some time, take some breaks from that stuff. It's one thing to be informed, but if we find that we're getting agitated and irritated by the things that we are looking at, take a deep breath, step away from it, come back to it later, but give yourself peace of mind. You bring that peace everywhere you go. But if we are constantly filling our minds with things that are causing anything but peace, then that is what we are going to experience too. Okay, banish bad habits. If we know that we have certain bad habits, for some of us it might be, for me anyways, it was drinking. But for some it may be smoking, for some it may be drug use, whatever it may be. If we categorize it as a bad habit, and we know it's a bad habit, then let's start looking at it. And if you want to look at it with me, I will be here for you and help you along the way. You will do the work, but I will help in any way that I can, because I know that if we have more people doing the work to look inward and get rid of those old habits of fearful thinking, lack thinking, not enough thinking, self-confidence issues that may come up, when we can help people let go of that stuff, this world begins to shift dynamically. Take your legs upwards towards the sky. Okay, preventing spiritual dis-ease. Spiritualize the body by destruction of the consciousness of mortality and change. The body is materialized vibration and should be cognized as such. The consciousness of disease, decay, and death should be removed by scientific understanding of the underlying unifying laws of matter and spirit, and the delusive manifestation of spirit as matter, of the infinite as infinite. That was a big word salad, which I understand, but it is understanding that these bodies are just material vibration taking place. We are embodied inside of them for now. But while we have them, we make this a little bit of a separation that I can use this body as a very useful tool to help others and to serve others this lifetime. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, bring the knees into your chest. Lower your feet down towards the ground. Lifting your hips, removing the blocks, lower your buttocks down, place the blocks off to the side. Let's hug both knees into our chest. We'll give ourselves one final hug and a squeeze. Please take a long, slow, deep breath in, fill lungs up, sip in a little bit more air, hug it all together into a tight ball. And on the exhale, release everything down towards the ground. Shavasana. Close the eyes. And as you close the eyes, allow yourself to be here. I'm going to share some affirmations from Yogananda. He calls these scientific affirmations, scientific healing affirmations. The affirmation for wisdom. Concentrate on the region beneath the top of the skull, feeling there the presence of the brain. Concentrate on the region beneath the top of the skull, feeling there the presence of the brain. In wisdom's chambers, thou dost roam. Thou art the reason in me. O thou dost roam and wake each lazy little cell of brain to receive the good that mind and senses give, the knowledge that thou dost give. I will think, I will reason, I won't trouble thee for thought. But lead thou me when reason errs, so its goal lead it right. O Heavenly Father, O Cosmic Mother, O Master Mind, O Friend Divine, I came alone, I go alone, with Thee alone, with Thee alone, with Thee alone, with Thee alone. O Thou didst make a home for me of living cells, a home for me. This home of mine is home of Thine. Thy life did make this home. Thy strength did make this home. Thy home is perfect. Thy home is perfect. I am Thy child. Thou art my Father. We both do dwell. We both do dwell. In temple same. In this temple of cells. Oh, in this temple of cells, Thou art always here. Oh, on my throbbing altar near. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Fill lungs up. And exhale, let it go. Deep breath in. Exhaling. And slowly start to move the fingers, move the toes, circle out the wrists and ankles, roll the shoulders out. Turn the head side to side, open and close the mouth a couple times. The deepest, longest inhales all day, reach the arms upwards, extend. And on the exhale, please float the arms down along the sides. Placing a gentle bend in your knees, please roll over to your left side. Using the right hand, press yourself up, come into a comfortable seated position. As you come into a comfortable seated position, placing the hands over the heart, just notice how you feel today. To the best of your ability, lovingly and kindly, for yourself, but for others, integrate some of this work. See yourself as you truly are, beyond the Maya and illusion of old, outdated thinking. Allow yourself to visit the present a little more and truly see how beautiful, how loving, and kind you are. Let's finish the practice with an Om. Inhale. Inhale, fill lungs. Exhale, bow the head down towards the hands. We honor ourselves. We honor our intentions. We visit them frequently throughout the day to come back to them. We honor all of our friends, families, loved ones, and supporters in our lives. In gratitude for the many gifts and blessings and abundance that shows itself, and in gratitude to the many teachers and guides that came long before us that passed along these practices we call yoga. Releasing the hands down, opening the eyes, lifting your chins. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. I appreciate you. And a special thank you to those that have been sharing some of their donations to me and my family, too. We were able to donate this week $250 to some families in need, as well as some wildfire funds for police officers and firefighters that were affected by the fires. So thank you all for your kindness and generosity. It means so much. Please let me know how I can help you. If you ever need to talk one-on-one, please reach out. We're here to help. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you so much for being in my life. Ho'oponopono aho. Namaste, friends. Thank you.